Hey guys! So before we get into the topic of today's video, I wanted to mention that I have on another one of those Physicians Formula eyeshadow palettes that I showed in yesterday's video, and this one is in Baked Sweets. And this is the one that has some purpley neutrals to it. I mean, that's like a pinky purple shade there. I have that on my lids. And then this is a brown that has some, leans a little bit purple. I have that on in the crease. This is definitely the most pigmented out of the four palettes that I bought. The way I applied this today is I actually used the sponge tip applicator that came with the palette to apply that color on my lids. And then I used the brush that I normally use in the crease to apply this color. And I didn't have any problems. I figured where this shade was so light, I would go ahead and try to use the sponge tip applicator because that worked out for the best. But I was really surprised. I decided to go ahead and try to use a brush with this shade, and I wasn't sure it was going to work, but it worked out fine. So this is definitely the most pigmented out of the four palettes that I bought. And I didn't do any highlight shade. I don't know. I just didn't. You don't really need to do a highlight shade. And sometimes I don't want to do a highlight shade because I don't want like any kind of, I mean, my skin tone provides a highlight shade more or less. But anyways, yeah, I wanted to mention about this since I had just done a video about those recently. Okay, so mascara, Maybelline Lash Discovery. I am still going to review the L'Oreal Miss Manga when I can find it, so have no fears. But in the meantime, I was at Ulta, and what was I getting? Oh, it's when I bought all those Maybelline highlighting blushes. I bought this the same time that I bought those, but I figured I'd do a separate video on it. So I've been using this nonstop for, I don't know, about a week, something like that. And this mascara has been around for many years, actually. And we have a tendency, or I have a tendency, to focus on the products that are new because, you know, everybody is curious about new things that are coming out. But sometimes it's good to try things that have been around for many years that we haven't tried. So I picked this up and it's got a miniature brush on it. It's kind of like the idea that if you use a small brush, you can get more, you can get right in there and coat every single lash more easily than if you have a large brush. So this is, it comes in a waterproof also, but I don't like waterproof mascaras. I like to try to remove my mascara as easily as possible. And speaking of which, this mascara comes off beautifully. You don't have to scrub or anything like that. I mean, it just comes off very easily with eye makeup remover, and there's nothing left behind. Every trace of it comes off, which is nice. I like that. I don't like to take off my mascara and then if I touch my lashes or something, feel that there's still mascara actually there. So this comes off great. So it's just a tiny, tiny, tiny little one. But because of that, so it's going to take a little longer to do your mascara. But I think it's worth it though, because you can do such a good job with this because the one is small. And of course, it works great on your bottom lashes because, you know, it's just easier. I mean, Clinique has that special mascara, the bottom lash mascara, with the one that looks like this, except it's half the size. I mean, it's really, really teeny tiny. But this is great because it's longer. So it's easier to do the top and bottom lashes, and you can coat every single lash. The formula is really nice. It's very wet. It's not super thick, so you're not going to have to worry about clumping or caking or anything like that. And when it dries, it doesn't flake, and you can just keep dipping the brush in and going over it as much as you want to, and it doesn't get messy or clump or anything. So I think this is a great mascara. The price is very reasonable. I believe it was around the $7 mark. So that's certainly reasonable for a mascara. And I'm really glad I tried this. I've bought a lot of mascaras recently, and of all the mascaras that I've bought recently, I would say this is most likely my favorite. Now, if you see me using another mascara in a video in the near future, it will be because it's probably going to be benefit. They're real because I paid a lot of money for that, so I want to use it. I don't want to waste it because I paid a lot of money for it. Or if I'm using one of the other ones that I bought, it could just be that I want to use them. I don't want them to go bad or have to throw them away. So I'll probably rotate amongst them. Now I say that, but what I'm actually going to do may be a different story, because when push comes to shove, I tend to reach for the things that I enjoy the most. So ideally, I would like to rotate the mascaras that I have in current use, but I may not. I say things and then I don't necessarily do what I say or what I would intend to do. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I love this mascara, and I don't think that there's anything much else I can say about it. It's a very thin, long tube, so it kind of stands out when you're looking at all the mascaras in the Maybelline section, because the trend nowadays tends to be really fat mascara tubes that are tapered. They tend to be like pointy at the top, well, the Maybelline ones anyway, and then sort of a fat container. So this one is the really skinny, and it's silver with navy blue trim if you want to try it. But I think this is well worth $7, and I definitely recommend it. So that is it for today, you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye! I just remembered that I didn't show you my lashes. So I'm gonna get in closer and tilt my head up so that you can get a good look at the lashes. So that's what they look like with the mascara on. Okay, just thought you might want to see that. Bye.